What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today I am continuing my Sword and Shield TCG set review with all of the normal type Pokemon cards of the set. We're nearing the end of these review videos. All I have left are the trainers and energy cards after the normal type Pokemon. And the set is coming out on PTCGO on February 6th and coming out everywhere outside of Japan on February 7th in real life. Before we get into the normal type Pokemon though, I want to shout out PotownStore.com, your best place to get PTCGO codes, and you can use code Celio for 5% off of your order. And also FlipsideGaming.com, where I write free weekly articles, and you can use code Celio, all caps, for 10% off of your next order there. That is $10 or more. So in this video, I will be rating the cards based on their viability in the Ultra Prism through Sword and Shield standard format, and sometimes I'll mention their viability in expanded or maybe in the future, but mostly focusing on the upcoming standard. I will be omitting pre-evolution cards unless they are notable, so we don't have to go through all of the bulk cards. And remember that these are my opinions, so feel free to disagree and create productive discussion in the comments below. Here's the legend on how I will be rating the cards, so from 1 star to 5 stars. 1 star means the card is bulk, likely unplayable. 2 stars, the card may have use depending on the future. 3 stars, the card will likely see some play, it's average give or take. 4 stars, it's a good card and it will see play and it's overall above average. And then 5 stars, the card is very good, potentially meta-defining, it will see play and it will see success. So first off, we have Chino here. Of course, these translations are from LimitlessTCG.com, so shout out to them. And the ability, which has been translated as not trade, I'm not sure what it's actually called, but once during your turn, you may discard a card from your hand and draw 2 cards. So we've seen this before, obviously, on Zoroark GX, discard a card from your hand to draw 2, and Zoroark GX was infamous in both sets. It was an insanely useful card. Several archetypes built around it in both formats, and still in the expanded format, it's a very used card. Chino is slightly different, although it has the same ability. So it's a stage 1 that is not a 2-prize Pokemon. It's single prize. And it's 90 HP, whereas Zoroark was 210. And back then, damage caps from attacks were even lower. And Zoroark GX had so much more HP than Chino. So Chino won't be surviving attacks from many Pokemon. And it also doesn't have a very, very relevant attack like Zoroark GX had. So Zoroark GX had Riotous Beating, which capped at 120 in standard, 150 with a choice band for a DCE. Chino has Energy Assist for a colorless energy. It does 40, attach a basic energy card from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So a very, very solid attack, but it is not going to be able to win games. You're not just going to be able to swing with Energy Assist every turn with your consistent toolbox deck and win from that, just like it's different than you could with Riotous Beating. So Chino, I'm going to give it 4 stars. I think it'll see play and it is above average. It's not as amazing and versatile as Zoroark, just because you can't use it as your main attacker or one of your main attackers. But discard a card to draw 2 is a very good ability. I was on the fence, maybe 4 to 5 stars, but I don't think it's going to see an abundance of play right away in the Ultra Prism through Sword and Shield format, but this card has so long to succeed in Standard, it will be very good eventually. Next, we've got Kramer V. The first attack for a colorless energy allows you to search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. This is insane for a colorless energy. I really love that because you can just splash this into any deck where on your second turn or your first turn going second, your deck isn't really ready to do anything. Maybe you're an evolution deck and you want to search out candies, or your evolution and a candy, or your supporters for next turn. Beat Catch, I think, is a very versatile attack. Now, of course, you can't attack turn 1 going first, so that does limit these kind of setup attacks like we've had in the past in formats where you were allowed to attack going first. But Beat Catch is insanely versatile, so if any of these setup attacks would be good, I think it would be Beat Catch. And then Kramer also has Spit Shoot for 3 colorless energy. Discard all energy from this Pokemon, and this attack does 160 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. That's perfect math for knocking out a Dedenne. So Spit Shoot is actually a very solid offensive attack, as well as you have Beat Catch, which is a solid support or setup attack. So I'm going to give Cramorant 3 stars. I think it's about average. I could see argument for it being a 4-star card, but I can't guarantee this will see play in the Ultra Prism through Sword and Shield format. Just because, like I said, Beat Catch can be slow since you can't attack first going first. You have to either wait till your second turn if you went first, or on your first turn going second, you can use Beat Catch. But it's just a little slow, especially in a format where Marnie and Reset Stamp are going to be running rampant, and they can just mess up the cards you searched for, and then your setup attack was all for naught. So Cramorant V, 3 stars. I think it'll try to see some play, but I can't really speak to it more on that. Next, we have Inguru. I'm giving Inguru 5 stars. So hear me out here. The ability Shallow Cleverness. Once during your turn, you may swap one of your cards from your hand with the top card from your deck. This ability is unheard of. If you have not yet tested the Sword and Shield format and played with Inguru, you may be underestimating this card. So you can take a card from your hand, swap it with the top card of your deck, and then that new card at the top of your deck is now in your hand. Or I'm sorry, the card that was on top of your deck is now in your hand. So you've essentially set the top card of your deck, which can be very good in many strategies. And you've also gotten to essentially draw an extra card by trading away one card you didn't want, and you can still get that card later on. In addition to being able to set the top card of your deck and digging one card deeper, a third utility of this is being able to save a card from being discarded with Professor's Research. So if you're playing Professor's Research, which is discard your hand, draw 7, and you have a Custom Catcher in hand. Custom Catcher is a card that's not good on its own. You need a set. So you could always use Shallow Cleverness to put it on top of your deck and then use Professor's Research so you didn't discard that resource that you want for later on. I think the possibilities are fairly endless with Inguru. You can use it with Magcargo GX's ability that looks at the top card, discards it, and if it was a fire energy, attaches. A similar ability with Zacian V's Intrepid Sword, where you look at the top 3 and you can attach as many metals as you want from there. And Inguru, like I said, it could also just be used in decks that often want to just dig one card deeper, and it allows you to do that as well. A fourth utility is it's a counter to Pidgeotto control, Chino control, the Reset Stamp Chip, lower the hand down to 0, and set the top deck. You get to draw the card that they set as the top deck with Chip, which will usually be an unplayable card that doesn't help you progress your game state. But with Shallow Cleverness on the field, you can just say, okay, I'll try again. Let's replace it with the top deck and see if the next card's any good, since they didn't get to set everything. And you could just do that continuously until eventually you will draw out of the Chip lock. So Inguru, there's just 4 utilities right there off the bat that are extremely relevant for standard format. I think this card will see play in a ton of decks. It will see success in a ton of decks. I'm not sure this card will essentially be meta defining, but you might be able to consider it meta defining if it runs Pidgeotto and Chino control out of the standard format, just by this being a 1-card tech in decks. So Inguru, 5-star card. I think it's just so good. Shallow Cleverness should not be slept on. Next, we've got Snorlax V. This card's pretty bad. 220 HP, Swallow for 3 energy. It does 60, and then you heal the same damage that you did to the defending. And then falling down, 170 for 4 energy, and this Pokemon's asleep. This card is only good because it evolves into Snorlax VMAX, so we'll just go right into that. I'm giving Snorlax V 2 stars, and then onto Snorlax VMAX, I'm giving this one 4 stars. I could see argument for it being dropped down to 3, but it has a few things going for it. So it uses colorless energy for its G-Max fall attack, which does 60 damage plus 30 for each of your benched Pokemon. So for 3 colorless energy, you're doing a max of 210 without additional damage modifiers in standard format. And the attack, so you can use Welder to power up this attack. You can use triple acceleration energy to power up this attack. You can use Frostmoth and then into Quagsire to power up this attack. So it has a lot of options because it's colorless and costs 3, and it's an evolution Pokemon, which means you can use triple acceleration energy. It has 340 HP, which is kind of insane. And it has 4 retreat costs, which means buff padding raises its HP by another 50, making it 350 HP total. And Absol cannot counter this because Snorlax VMAX is not a basic Pokemon. So 390 HP, you're swinging for 210, and we have so many healing options in the format. Malolana, Hyper Potion, Pokemon Center Lady, and DDV, using Will and then Super Scoop up to guarantee the heads. There's a lot you could do to heal Snorlax and tank, and then just two-shot everything in the format with your 210 HP damage output. So I do think Snorlax VMAX will be played. The amount of success it will see, I'm not sure. We're going into a brand new meta, but I think the card has a ton of potential and deserves 4 stars. Next, we've got Noctowl. 110 HP, stage 1 Pokemon, wing attack 40 for 2, nothing special there, but its take away the mountain attack is what we're looking at here that makes it kind of useful in specific situations. So for 3 colorless energy, which could be a triple colorless energy, keep in mind, choose one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, your opponent shuffles that Pokemon and all cards attached to it into their deck, and you shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. If your opponent's no bench Pokemon, this attack does nothing, so you could always just send up a wall or a doll or whatever if you just wanted to get rid of a threat on your opponent's bench. So I'm giving Noctowl 2 stars since it does have niche use. Any deck playing a triple colorless energy, if you're running into a matchup where it's a threat when they set up 2 huge things or just one bench sitter that's always a problem for your deck, you can use take away the mountain to put it back into their deck. Really unique attack. I like it a lot, and hopefully it'll find its way into being useful somehow in the standard format. And lastly, we have Double, which evolves from the legendary Wooloo. 130 HP, stage 1, Cotton Guard, 30 for 1 energy, and next turn reduce damage by attacks by 30. And Double Edge, 120 for 3, and it does damage to itself, 30 damage to itself. Double is the bulk card here. Just 1 star for poor little Double, and other than that, the normal type cards or colorless type cards from Sword and Shield are actually fairly impressive. It's a pretty good lineup we've got going on here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. Be sure to check out PotownStore.com and FlipsideGaming.com, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.